All right, it's 1:05. We're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to start off with giving you a little bit of a background about Job-A-Palooza and why we're all here today. Brandy and I used to help run our mock interview days. Some of you may have been part of that in the past. And we would have 2 mock interview days a year. We decided that we really wanted to do something more with that. What else could we do other than just mock interviews? I had gone to a conference in Philadelphia over summer, and they talked about this idea of Job-A-Palooza. It's actually ran down in Florida. The Arc of Florida runs it. They do this all over Florida. And I thought, what a cool idea is that? So it came back and Brandy and I talked about it, and we decided that was something we really wanted to do and provide for the community and people that were looking for employment here. And so that's what we did. We started up Job-A-Palooza. The purpose of Job-A-Palooza is to show you different jobs for you to explore, to be able to try out different jobs and get a better idea of what might be a really good fit for you in employment, or something that you may like or not like. A lot of times you might think that there's something you like to do and you try it out, and in fact, you don't like it at all. So, and vice versa. There might be something that you think that you would hate, and then you do it and it's just amazing. Last year, we were able to hold this event at the warehouse, which is now off of the Beeline Trail. And we had about 28 employers there. And last year it was hands-on. So all the employers showed up with booths. They had a booth and with a task or two. And you were able to show up and try out one of the jobs at that employment site. And then you got kind of scored on that. Well, because COVID hit and we're in a pandemic and everybody has to social distance and can't touch anything, we had to come up with a new way to provide Job-A-Palooza to everyone this year. So we are now virtual, and we hope that you all are able to get as much as you can out of this. Each week we will be having 4 employers. The last week we have 3 slated right now. And the employers, you'll have a tour of what their business is like, some background information. There's going to be a lot of questions asked. And right after the video plays, every one of you will get a chance to ask a question about that place of employment if it really interests you, or anything that might come up. So as those questions come up, as you're thinking about it, put it in the chat box. And when we get to the Q&A, Kristen is going to share those questions with you. And then we'll move on to the next one. So we're going to go ahead and get started. And we're going to start by some introductions of your presenters. My name's Mary Ellen Jones. I am the Youth and Family Supports Manager with Stonebelt.
Hi everyone, I'm Brandy Hamilton with Life Designs, and my current title is Director of Community Services.
And hello, my name is Kristen King. I'm the Director of Community Relations here at Life Designs, and I'm so excited to see all of you today. I want to talk about what's happening next on our agenda for today. We're going to have a word from our sponsors next. We want to thank them. We appreciate their support. And then next after that, we've got Texas Roadhouse. So Texas Roadhouse is up first. So be thinking about some of the things that you want to ask them. Then we're going to move into Cardinal Spirits, Freddy's Frozen Custards, and then AMC Theaters. After each of the videos, we'll have the question and answer time. So please submit your questions down into the chat box. Don't worry if you can't think of any, because I've got some ready to go just in case, just to help you guys get more information. So just make sure you stay on mute unless it's an emergency, and then we will go through our agenda today and have a good time. So next up is our sponsors. So first I want to talk a little bit about Down Syndrome Family Connection. They're one of our sponsors. Their vision is to bring together families in Bloomington, Ellettsville, Bedford, in the surrounding areas of South Central Indiana in support of those with Down syndrome. We appreciate their support. Please enjoy this video.
employing people with disabilities is not just the right thing to do, although it is good. I mean, it's a good thing to do for these individuals, but it's just good for business. They're on time, they're passionate, they're hardworking, they elevate their coworkers and develop and create a morale that's positive and helpful, and it really is just beneficial for everyone, for the employer and the employee.
People with Down syndrome getting paid brings normalcy to them. It brings them well-being, that they're contributing just as we would.
She helps the teachers a lot, especially by filing graded papers and some of the work the students have done. I think she's also a huge help to the students, just with her personality, just with her being here, and them seeing what she is able to add to our building and to the students and people here. One teacher in particular said that Madison saved him 20 minutes a day in his daily work, and if she could do that for other people, she should get paid for the time that she's saving him.
I like to use the money to help give my own apartment. It lets me feel confident to be awesome to work here. I do love my job so much. I take this job seriously.
Everyone should be treated equally fair, so I think everyone deserves a chance, because everyone has different disabilities and different things. So everyone deserves a fair chance at everything in life.
Other people can be different. That means that nobody's perfect, but you deserve to be respected and have faith in those people. Working my job and other people is the most important in my life.
There's an awful lot of self-worth involved in getting paid for something. I don't know anybody who doesn't get a check, paycheck, that somewhere along the line you kind of feel good about that you worked for it, you got it, and away you go. And I know that Logan feels that way. So just as it makes us feel good to have spending money, it certainly works with Logan and anybody else who has the opportunity to get out and earn a few bucks.
We're just passionate about this, and we're just trying to move things forward for individuals with disabilities who tend to be heavily reliant on government programs and assistance, and many of them want to work but just can't get their foot in the door. So that's what this is all about, is convincing others, employers, businesses, other community entities that it's just the right thing to do, and it's great for business. So hire someone with Down syndrome. You will not be disappointed.
To move forward too far. There we go. Yep. All right, next up is our sponsor, Work to Include. Work to Include is a coalition that was formed to push the Employment First law forward. Employment First states that employment and integrated wages are the first and preferred outcome for all individuals with disabilities. Work to Include has partnered with Job-A-Palooza to assist in educating employers about the benefits of an inclusive work environment. Work to Include has also provided all of the employers that are part of Job-A-Palooza with a toolkit full of resources.
As an employer, what I have found for accommodations is we call that Kaizen. In the Toyota world, Kaizen means continuous improvement. We're always looking for ways to make the job easier so that every member can be successful at the job that they're doing. In our community, we have several ARC organizations. We have ARC of Evansville, ARC of Southwestern Indiana, Sycamore Services. All of these agencies provide services for people with disabilities. They're affiliated with vocational rehab. They are providing services for folks with disabilities to gain jobs. The number one item is to get to know those job coaches that are working in those service organizations. bring them into our facility so they can learn our jobs, so they can understand what skills are required to perform the jobs, and then match their consumers with the skill sets required and the dreams that those consumers have to work on the campus. Secondly, having those job coaches have access to your facility to work with the supervisors, the group leaders, team leaders on the floor with that consumer so that they can become integrated and fully included into the team that they're working within. The last one that we have partnered with is the school districts. All of the school districts have programs which are employment programs working for careers for these kids. Whether they have IEPs or special education programs, we've partnered with school districts in our region to provide manufacturing training so that these students have an exposure to manufacturing and they're able to join our workforce and not come in blind with no understanding of what's required to work there. Every organization out there has programs that are working towards inclusion, diversity, different things like that, that you're already educated with. So there's no special training really required in order to bring an individual in with a disability. That's another myth that a lot of people think, that there's specialized training. Oh, I need to know how to deal with this disability or that disability. In all reality, it's really just treating people the way that they want to be treated and looking for ways for every individual to be successful. As an employer, what I have found.
All right, we are ready for why you're all here, the meat and potatoes of our presentation. So first up is Texas Roadhouse. Make sure to remember to write any questions that come up in the chat box.
We are here at Texas Roadhouse with Shay. She's going to tell us a little bit about how she got started with Texas Roadhouse and what it's like working here.
Yeah, all right. Well, I've worked here for about 6 years. I started as a host. I worked my way up through takeout, serving, and now I'm a manager. Working at Roadhouse has been just a great experience. It's a very welcoming and family-like feel here. We try to work as a team and just have fun with purpose.
Cool. You mentioned starting as a host. What is that like? What does a host do?
Yeah, so whenever you first start off hosting, you're going to be working on learning your table numbers, talking to guests, things like that. You'll start as a seater, so whenever you're just taking the people to the tables, having conversations with them, asking if they need anything and how their last visit was. There's different positions at the host stand, so you can move up to working on board, where you choose where each table gets sat and call ahead whenever you take their calls and things like that.
Okay, thank you.
So this is the host stand and this is the board, so this is where you would be choosing where to sit your tables. Things like that. If it's a 4-top, you just click on the 4, enter 4, and then have them seated. Whenever we're open, there's going to be bread over there. The guests will come in, we'll grab them silverware, menus, their fresh baked bread, and then just take them on back to their seat and have a nice conversation while we go. So we're back here in dish. So normally all of the dirty dishes would just come back over here. You're going to take one of these, put it over here, put it up evenly, and then just push it on through.
Okay, and then the clean dishes come out here?
Yes, all of the clean dishes come out here. We organize, kind of put them where they go. We have sinks for soaping and washing things that can't go through the dishwasher. Our ice machine, and our dish also would take care of cleaning the kitchen and bathrooms. table mixer. Bakery is in charge of making our fresh baked bread, our croutons, our brownies, just basically any bread things related to Roadhouse. It's made in-house here with this area.
So on a normal day, how many people are working to prepare like back of house, to prepare the food and everything?
Yeah, so during the mornings, there's probably like 6 to 10 people here. In the evenings, it goes up to probably like 25, 30, depending on, like line and bakery and everything like that. But there's quite a bit of people here just before we open, just prepping, making sure all the food is fresh and ready for the night.
Wow, yeah, 25 people, that's a lot.
Yes, yeah, our point and our broil, there's at least like 10 of them normally. Trying to make sure everything runs smoothly whenever we open, get a conveyor belt kind of thing going on.
Wow, okay. And then what about like bussers and hosts? How many bussers are on a normal night?
On a slower night, it's about 2. On weekend busy nights, there's about 5.
Okay.
5 or so. Hosts range from anywhere from 4 to 8 on our busy nights.
Okay, thank you very much. Lori's going to tell us about some of the benefits of working at Texas Roadhouse.
Well, when you're a Texas Roadhouse employee, when you come in with your family, you get 30% off your meal and your family's meal, so that's awesome. Where can you go and get a discount? You also, while you're working, you get as many Coke drinks, anything, sweet tea, anything like that, unlimited supply, and then you can get the fresh baked bread and honey cinnamon butter.
That's awesome. Do you feel like it's a good way to make friends working here? Like, do you kind of hang out with your coworkers?
Absolutely. It's we treat our employees like our family. They are our extended family, and they all seem to get along well. You spend most of your time at work. A lot of people do, so that's where you find those close relationships.
Yeah.
And there's been so many long-lasting friendships made here at Texas Roadhouse.
Cool. How long have you been working for Texas Roadhouse?
June in was 23 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
And how did you start out?
I started as a server and a bartender, and while I was in college, and once I graduated, I decided I like this better. You know, everyone wants a job where they make great money, but on added plus to that is just loving to come to work. And this was the first job that I had that I really just enjoyed, and everyone just kind of accepted me with open arms, and it's just fun, friendly atmosphere.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Awesome. Well, we will move right into our question and answer time. We have Lori Orton on here. She's been replying to some of your guys' questions. I'm just going to read through a few just in case you don't read quickly or you were watching the video and you didn't see her answers. So Katie asked, would I be able to wear noise canceling earphones? Lori, do you have an answer for that one?
Yes, during the day, if we're not open, that's perfectly fine. But once we're open, we do need it to, you know, for you to be able to be aware of your surroundings. There's a lot of hustle and bustle, people moving around. So probably not once if we're open. During the day, prepping, rolling silverware, doing dishes, cleaning parking lot, anything like that, absolutely you can.
Awesome, thank you. Another question is, are there any jobs where you don't deal with dirty dishes?
Yes, there's lots of jobs where you don't deal with the dirty dishes. Rolling the clean silverware, obviously you're going to deal with everything clean. You're going to just soak it. We soak them in soda water. So you just wipe them off, put them on the linens and roll them. Also, if you were to do prepping, you'd be prepping steak sauces, ketchups, honey butter, cinnamon, regular butter, stuff like that, sour cream, or parking lot detail. No dirty dishes. We can find things that aren't dishes.
And I believe that Melissa asked, are there any short shifts available, like 3 hours or less? Maybe
Yes.
still rolling or sweeping, and you said yes. Okay. And the minimum age to work for Texas Roadhouse is?
16.
16. Do you require a high school diploma?
We do not.
What if somebody wants to take some time off? What does that look like?
We actually have the schedules are done about 2 weeks in advance. So as long as we have what's called hot schedules, and you can request days off, it'll show you the whole calendar, and a manager just has to approve it. But verbally talking with someone as well, as long as we have a couple weeks notice, that's perfectly fine.
What type of training would someone receive if they got hired on at Texas Roadhouse?
I'm sorry, what was that question?
What type of training would somebody receive? What would that look like?
We don't believe in just throwing anybody into any position. You always get trained, so you would be with a trainer. It just depends which position, at least 2 or 3 shifts. And then you also have a trainer or a person that's very well qualified for the job that you're going to be doing, just kind of working hand in hand and keeping an eye on you, available, and managers are always available to if you have questions or need something.
Awesome. So we just had a question from Miranda. She says, how do you apply?
Actually, if you apply online, it's apply.texasroadhouse.com, and you just select the Bloomington, Indiana location and go from there.
Awesome. Mary Ellen, Brandy, were there any other questions you wanted to ask?
Lori, would you mind putting that in the chat box for the how to apply whenever you get a chance? That way we have it saved in our chat. That would be great.
Absolutely.
I have one question. Is a uniform provided for your employees?
Yes, we always provide 2 Texas Roadhouse t-shirts when you start, name tag. We do require you to get some slip resistant shoes because, you know, things can get spilled, or just to help us all out. That is a requirement, and we can either get you on a website, or you can go to any Walmart, literally anywhere, and find the slip resistant shoes. It's actually very laid back. Jeans, everyone loves to wear jeans, so you get to wear jeans to work, just as long as they're darker in color, no rips, no holes, no frays. We do prefer you to wear a belt. Socks obviously is a must. If you have long hair that hits your shoulders or longer, we do ask that you pull it back in a ponytail. And depending on if you're working with food, we do want you to either wear a hairnet or a hat. But we have face masks that we can provide for you if you prefer to wear your own cloth, absolutely fine. We have gloves. We have you wear gloves. And especially with COVID going on, we're taking the extra precautions. We take everyone's temperature daily. We have a wellness log that we have you log on to, and we teach everything. Just you can do it 2 to 4 hours before your shift. So if you're not feeling well, you get on there and you're going to go through those COVID symptoms or flu, you know, just anything. Things happen. So just that kind of sends it to it's called a zero health nurse. So they help us in figuring out if you're sick and if you should stay home.
Well, thank you, Lori and Texas Roadhouse. That was wonderful. We appreciate you for being a community partner. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Thank you. And I'll put that link in. Have a good day.
Perfect.
All right. Next up is Cardinal Spirits. So we're going to hear from Cardinal Spirits and what it looks like to work there.
Cardinal Spirits is a craft distillery in Bloomington, Indiana that makes vodkas, gins, rums, liqueurs, and canned cocktails. They distribute them to 12 states and Washington, D.C. Also, they have a tasting room, cocktail bar, and restaurant. So some of the jobs that you could work at are working in the distillery, working in food service in the restaurant, prepping and serving food, sales, and more.
I'm Ben, production assistant here at Cardinal, and today we're going to be bottling up some bourbon. First thing we have to do is apply a label to our bottles, nice and straight. Luckily, we got a machine to help us with that. Alright, double check to make sure it's all even. Looks pretty good. The next thing we're going to do is fill these bottles. This machine's calibrated so it fills up the right amount of spirit for each time that we do it. And make sure we can't fill too much. After we fill the bottles, we then have to make sure that they're all closed. And to ship them, we need to make sure they're sealed. The heat gun shrinks the plastic sleeve down to make sure the cap stays on. Once we have them sealed, we'll then box them up. Making sure to apply some stickers to each box so that we know what product it is. So it goes to the right place. Once we've got them all filled up, we then put them onto the pallet here, wrap it up nice and tight to make sure that it ships safely. And that's the whole way.
Hello, I'm Justin Hewitt, distiller at Cardinal Spirits. Right now we're lab distilling a product to check the percent alcohol by volume. So as you can see, we have the lab still running. We're basically just evaporating liquid here up the arm, and then we're reconditioning it over here so that it comes down off this elbow into this measuring flask, and that'll tell us the ABV of one of our products that we're working on right now.
Awesome. So now we have our question and answer time, and I believe that we have Chris Steely here. He's the operation manager for Cardinal Spirits. So we have our first question was, what are the minimum age requirements to work for Cardinal Spirits?
Sure, that's a great question. We for our front of house and kitchen staff, I think it's pretty much 18. And I can confirm that if anybody has if there's a 17-year-old that would be interested in that, I can definitely nail that down. As far as working in our production area, it would have to be 18 or older in the bottling part of our business, I guess, our operation.
Awesome. So our second question was, what type of diploma or requirements do you have to work for Cardinal Spirits?
Sure. Yeah, that's a great question as well. Typically, if you're working in the kitchen, we'd like you to have some previous culinary experience, whether that's working as a dishwasher or working as a busser or working as a chef, if at all possible. And similar to front of house, if you have any retail or host experience or anything like that, that would be great. And then in our distillery and the packaging operation, similar sort of thing. If you have any experience, that would be an added benefit, but there's no specific GED, diploma, or degree requirements for the positions that we have at Cardinal Spirits.
And Chris, somebody was asking, when did Cardinal Spirits first open in Bloomington?
Sure. Yes, so Cardinal Spirits has been around since 2015. We just celebrated our 5th anniversary last year and hope to be celebrating many more.
Are there opportunities for advancement within Cardinal Spirits? Say somebody were to start as a host?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not as well versed in the sort of the ladder climbing or hierarchy of the front of house. I do know that we've had folks that have been interested in becoming a bartender, but don't have that experience. So they've started off as a host and then really shown their abilities and their interests and their passions by asking a lot of questions, by working with the bartenders, and then some of them ultimately becoming them. Myself specifically, as far as production goes, I worked part-time on the bottling line and then kind of just got more and more into what was happening at Cardinal Spirits and worked my way up to the position that I hold now. So I'm proof that it can happen to anyone.
Amazing. So we have our question, how did we apply for employment with Cardinal Spirits?
Sure, that's a great question. At Cardinal Spirits, I can also try to type in a link here, much like the wonderful person from Texas Roadhouse did earlier, but you can find that on our website, which is cardinalspirits.com. There should be a link for employment applications there, and I believe you can follow the prompts from that spot. I believe it's just cardinalspirits.com/hire or something like that. So let me see, actually getting that a full screen, if I can find that and type that into the chat for you.
Awesome. Well, while you're doing that, so I wanted to ask you, do you allow tattoos, long hair, piercings for your employees that work for you?
Yes, we absolutely do. I don't have any piercings myself, but my hair is growing out because I haven't gotten a haircut during this pandemic, and I actually have a few tattoos. So as long as the piercings aren't like, hanging down, we wouldn't want our employees who have pierced ears to have, very dangly earrings or big hoops, or if you have a nose piercing or something, nothing with a chain on it. But if you have a stud in your nose or a stud in your ear or something like that, that's totally acceptable.
And do you need a uniform or some sort? And do you provide that if somebody were to get hired?
We do not require any uniforms of any sort. If you're working in the front of house, you're obviously in a public-facing position, so you would need to be, dressed nicely. If you just have on a t-shirt and some ripped-up jeans, that probably wouldn't be good enough. But you don't need to wear a full suit either. We don't provide any uniforms to our employees, but we do have, I believe it's a 20 or a 25% discount for all of our employees for food, beverage, as well as merchandise. So you could find some t-shirts or Cardinal Spirit swag for a discount, but we don't require any specific uniforms, nor do we provide them.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And one last question. So what are some of the, you mentioned the discount, what are some of the other benefits to working for Cardinal Spirits?
Awesome question. Yeah. The benefits are you get to support local business because your time is valuable to Cardinal Spirits if you were to be an employee with us. So that's just a wonderful symbiotic thing there. You also get to be a part of our outreach. We do a lot of community outreach to organizations here in the community and also nationally. You'd also get to be a part of a really small familial group. We've only been around for 5 years. We're a craft distillery, so we're very, very small. And, our employee pool is very tight. We have a lot of good connections made, a lot of good friendships developed. You'd also get to learn a lot. I mean, if you even have a passing interest in spirits or fermentation, Justin, as you saw in the video, haircut aside, is a wonderful teacher. And he would be very awesome to work with as far as the knowledge he can impart you. So there's a lot of chances for just advancing your education as far as spirits go, and a really good opportunity to be part of a kind of a small group.
Thank you so much, Chris and Cardinal Spirits, for being a wonderful community partner.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you very much to you guys for allowing us to be a part of this. And I'd love to give a shout out to Brienne Signard for approaching me to have us be a part of this Job-A-Palooza. I hope it's a wonderful success for all of your clients. And I will post that link to our careers page on our website in the chat for you.
Chris, it looks like there's one more question. Chris,
oh, sure.
Kristen, would you like to read that?
Yeah, so somebody was asking about your product change to start making sanitizer at the beginning of the pandemic. Can you tell us how that happened and what ensued?
Oh yeah, that's a great question actually, because we can kind of give you some history here. So, like I said, we've been around since 2015, and we're a smaller operation and have really relied on the community support of our spirits, as well as the national support of our spirits as far as the distribution of it goes. Well, at the beginning of the year, things were going smoothly, and then March hit, and we were like, well, this is kind of strange. A lot of our sales have dropped off, and with the pandemic, a lot of places closed, so we didn't have options, for a bar to have a cocktail or something like that. So we kind of had to pivot, and we're thinking, what can we do? How can we continue to stay afloat and employ people during this time? And we already have all of the licensing and all of the paperwork on file as a distillery to do things related to spirits. So we just pivoted to acquiring grain neutral spirits and turning that into hand sanitizer with an FDA approved formula. So we're not making any hand sanitizer currently. We still have it in our inventory if people need it. But we had a really awesome opportunity to stay afloat and also give back to the community as far as our hand sanitizer production goes.
Awesome. Thank you very much. We love you, Cardinal Spirits. Thank you for being such a wonderful community partner.
Oh, absolutely.
And we're on to our next.
Yeah. Take care, guys. Thanks very much.
All right. Thank you to Cardinal Spirits. And up next, we have Freddy's Frozen Custard and Steak Burgers. So please enjoy this video and then type your questions you have in the chat box.
If you get hired here at Freddy's, there's a few things you can expect. You can expect to either work in the kitchen or up front. And when you're in the kitchen, you can work on the grill, or you can make sandwiches, or you can drop fries. If you're up front, you can be talking to guests and working the register, wiping down tables, scooping custard, or working the drive-thru. Or you can be cleaning, sweeping, mopping, doing dishes. You can be doing prep work, as in making pickles, or cutting onions, or cutting tomatoes, or you can be portioning things, anything like that.
My name's Seamus Jarman, and I cooked grills with patties. When I just open this freezer, when I just get the patty out with this spatula crab, and I put a patty right here. Just wait up more than 10 seconds. It will wait up for just heat up to brown, and then I just, and then I just flipped it up and smashed it into pancakes. And there you have it. If you can just put seasoning if you want. We'll just wait up here and until it'll brown into crisp.
I'm running dry right now. This is station I'm on today. Essentially all we do is you take whatever's ordered up there on that screen. Depending on the number of things you need, you take those here. Or here, walk in here and press one of the buttons. Wait for it to be done. After that, you take fries and you put them in these fry cups. Or if it's onion rings, you put them in these bags. Or if it's anything else, it's usually divided between what's here and there. And you take these, put them on these bags, and help make do their job, because it's easier for them if they have the bag already set up and ready.
Gotcha. Oh, hi there. This is Seamus again. When I just scrape it hard for the patties, then when it's all done, put the cheese out. When it gets melted, you'll be ready for your buns. Actually, I put 2 bacons on and the chicken breast. That's how you flip it up with some patties and chicken breast and bacon. When it's all done, you'll press this button and there you have. When it's all more done, and I just get one more, then you'll take it out and put it on the bottom bun. There's the chicken breast. We'll just have to wait for the chicken breast to fry.
Some of the perks of working for Freddy's is you get to join what I like to call our Freddy's family. So I like to take care of every single team member that I have as if they're my own kid or my own family member. You also get an employee discount, it's half off. And you can also join in on all the fun that we have here. You can hang out with us, we listen to music, we dance, we sing, we enjoy ourselves here, and we also build lifelong friendships and learn life skills here.
Awesome. That was a wonderful video, and kudos to you, Seamus. You're on here. Everybody wave to the famous Seamus. He did a wonderful job showing you what he does at Freddy's. So we have Carly on here. You saw her in the video. She's here to answer questions from Freddy's. Our first question were items that are cut by hand. Are they cut by hand or machine? An example, onions and things.
Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Okay, so onions are cut by a rotary slicer and tomatoes are cut with like a mandolin. So you just kind of like shove it through a slicey blade thing. And diced onions are cut with there's like little machines and little one task items for everything that cuts, but we do have knives and stuff. It's easier for people to cut things by hand. It just makes everything a little more uniform.
Awesome. Somebody was asking, what age must you be to get a job here?
We typically prefer you to be 16.
Awesome. If someone were to get a job there, do they get paid weekly or bi-weekly or other?
Bi-weekly, every other Wednesday. I know that's weird, but our payday's on Wednesday.
And what if somebody were to take time off to go visit family or go on vacation? What does that look like?
So we're pretty old school. We still do our schedules on just a plain Excel sheet. And our request off book is a literal planner book that you just write your name on the days.
So how, if somebody were to apply for a job there, what's the best way for them to apply?
Honestly, I prefer if they just come on in and talk to me. Normally I'm there. Today's my day off. So if you just see me putzing around my bedroom, that's what I'm doing. But so I'm normally there until about 6 o'clock. And I actually am a lot better, like I said, old school with just a normal paper application.
No.
But we do have an online link and I'll put that in the little chat thing if I can figure out how this works.
Absolutely. Is there a uniform and do you guys provide that, or is that something that they would have to purchase after they were hired?
So we provide 2 t-shirts and a hat. And the t-shirt is a part of your uniform along with the hat and now the mask, which we also provide disposables if you want to wear your own cloth one, which Seamus and I were both wearing in the videos, our own cloth masks. Jeans, no rips, no holes, no tears, just like at Texas Roadhouse, and non-slip shoes and a belt.
And what are the types of jobs that you mainly hire for?
So I hire pretty much anybody for anything. If somebody can do the job that I have an opening for, I'll hire that person for it.
Good. And then when people are working a shift there, are there breaks? Are they paid or unpaid?
The breaks are unpaid. They're half hour, but if you're over 18, you don't actually have to take a break unless you want to.
Awesome. And you talked a little bit in the video about some of the benefits from working there. Can you talk about some of those things, such as discounts?
So we provide a half off discount for you and another family member. So say if Seamus and his dad want to come in, they get half off. So it's pretty awesome.
Oh, good. And then are there opportunities for advancement with Freddy's?
Yeah, actually tons. So just for a little background, I started at Freddy's about 4 years ago as basically a shift lead. And now I'm the general manager of the one in Bloomington. So there is opportunities for advancement. We are a very quickly growing company, and tons of things are always moving and shaking and grooving. So there's always opportunity for advancement.
We have 2 more questions. If someone has sensory issues related to, say, jeans and a belt, would there be exceptions made?
So that would be something that would be done on an individual basis. I'm all for working with an individual and making sure that they're comfortable to do the job. So if you have a sensory issue with jeans and a belt, we'll find something that looks like jeans that you can wear.
Awesome. And are you currently hiring? And if so, what positions are you looking for currently?
We are currently hiring, and our main focus is on day shift, actually. I need people to work in the mornings.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Carly, and thank you, Freddy's, for being a wonderful community partner. We certainly appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
Hi, Carly.
Hi, Seamus.
this is going to be a best day for where we getting paid up.
Payday's next Wednesday, Seamus.
We all love our paydays, don't we? That's great. Thank you so much, Carly. Thank you, Seamus, for joining us for this week's event. Next up, we have our last but not least employer that we want to showcase today, and that is AMC. So please enjoy this video and type your questions in the chat box.
Hello, my name is Colton. I'm the general manager of AMC Bloomington 11 and Bloomington 12. We have 4 main positions here at AMC. First being box office, where you'll sell tickets. Second being the concession stand, which is right behind me, where you would sell hot and fresh food. Third being at the greeter stand, where you would check in our guests, scan tickets, and tear tickets. And the fourth being our usher position, where you go in and clean up after people once they leave the theater.
Hello, I'm Malaya. I'm a manager here at AMC. Whenever you go up to box, we're gonna direct people, we're gonna first say hello to them. We're gonna direct people to the kiosks if they're paying with a card or a gift card, or we can take them here. We do accept cash here in box office, so if they come to a monitor here, they can pay with cash or with card, either way. We'll take them here. Hi, my name is Mabel. I work back in concessions in the movie theater. How it works is people will go through the line. They come, get their order. We've put the candy out here as a display because of coronavirus, so we have to give it to them. And then usually people order popcorn. So we come here, keep the bag roll over to the side, we strip it out. If they want drinks, we have lids and straws and all the stuff in the coolers. And that's about it. I give them their receipt and they go see the movie.
Hi, my name is Ryan Casazza. I work here at AMC Theater 12, and it was good, and I'm just opening up these stores and letting people out so see what time these movies gets over and check how many people are in there. Hi, my name is Ryan. I'm going to show you how to use the wipe to clean the drink machine and the counter right here.
Here at AMC, there are tons of benefits to being an associate. First being, you get to see free movies, and who doesn't love free movies? Second, we have an awesome discount and concession when you're here watching movies or when you're working. Third being, we have flexible schedules, so if you're in school, we can work around that. And sometimes, on the rare occasion, we get to watch movies a few days before the general public.
Hi, my name is Ryan. I like to go clean the bathrooms and check, and I like to restroom check, make sure everyone's enough flush the toilet. I always like to clean the bathrooms and spray and get all this toilet seats clean.
Awesome. So today we have Colton Frew. He's the general manager of both 11 and 12 here in Bloomington, and he's here to answer your questions. So I know what the answer is, but I know you guys were all wondering what that machine was that the one worker was using in the movie theater to blow the handles. Colton, what is that machine, and why do you guys use that to clean the movie theater?
So that is our newest addition, the electrostatic sprayer. It is so we can properly disinfect our theaters, so it's safe for moviegoers to come and enjoy our features.
So we have a personal question. What movies have you watched at AMC Bloomington, Colton?
Oh man, I guess I've watched a ton. But some of the highlights, I remember watching the most recent Star Wars. I came in, I think at like 2 or 3 in the morning and watched it because I'm such a big fan. The last Avengers Endgame, I remember having a pre-screening for that, and really enjoyed just the camaraderie of watching a movie with my crew. So those are the highlights for sure.
Awesome. So we have a question from someone that says, does the see movies before everyone else apply to limiting screenings? Explain that a little bit more.
So on the, like I mentioned in the video, on the rare occasion we get to screen the movie about 12 to maybe 24 hours before the public. Now sometimes some studios are very explicit on not allowing us to do that. We have bent the rules maybe a little bit at times, but yeah, so that's basically what I mean is we can sometimes allow the crew in to come in and watch a feature before the public does.
Awesome. Do you know if AMC is on a bus line? Should someone that gets hired there need transportation to work?
I'm sorry, say it one more time. I'm so sorry.
I said, are the AMC theaters on a bus line in case somebody uses, the Bloomington Transit for their transportation to work?
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, definitely. So there is one at the kind of the front of the lot out right off of West 3rd Street. Yeah, just around the corner of the light that you go into the theater. And then on the East Side Theater, the closest stop is at Kroger, which I'm sure if you're familiar with Bloomington, you know how close Kroger is to the East Side Theater. So it's very manageable if individuals need to use the bus transit.
If somebody were to want to apply to work for AMC, what's the best way to do that?
I would suggest if they don't know the exact website, give us a call. We're always looking for good talent. But if you can just go to amctheaters.com/careers. And then it's a simple search from there. You can either narrow it down by the state or the city or the specific theater. And if it's available, it'll come up. And if not, then it won't be available to see online. But that's why I would suggest just giving a theater a call, either one of them, and talking to a manager to see if our position is open.
So what kind of time frames do you hire people and do they work at AMC? For instance, do you have morning shifts, afternoon shifts, evening shifts?
Yeah, so we have really a whole gamut. As you can imagine, one of the most popular times to watch a movie is like on a Friday and Saturday night at around 7 o'clock. So people go eat dinner, then they come watch a movie. So it's really important to have good availability on the weekends for us. And right now, we're quite slow, actually. As a matter of fact, the East Side Theater, where I'm at currently, is only open Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, which it stinks, but that's the reality right now. And even over at the West Side, where we're open still 7 days a week, we're very limited on our hours. So we're running from about 5 o'clock until maybe 9 o'clock. Hopefully once things become a little bit more back to normal, we'll have some more availability on weekdays for like a 12 to maybe 5 shift. That was a pretty normal shift before COVID happened. And then during the weekends, we like to capture some of our family audience during the day. So
It can be a hot time during like the 1 to 4 o'clock range for our family-friendly movies. So there's this whole gamut of times that an employee could be working.
Awesome. We have a question. What is the starting pay at AMC?
Yeah, starting pay, it all depends on past experience. So we need a little bit more. We typically start just a little bit above minimum wage. So I understand it's not super competitive compared to some, but that's what it is. But we like to supplement, like I mentioned in the video, with free movies, discounted concessions. You can bring your family in for free. So there's a lot of ways that, you know, that kind of makes up the not so fantastic thing.
And then, is there a uniform? I noticed that some people had certain things on in the video. Is there a uniform? Is that something that if you got hired, you paid for, or AMC does? And do you allow tattoos, piercings, things of that nature?
Yeah, so we do have a standard uniform. We do provide the shirt, name tag. If they want a hat, we do have hats. And then we have a payroll deduction for shoes. You can get shoes for on there around $30, so not too bad. And the only thing we really don't provide is the pants. And we require like Dickies work pants or just black slacks will work. And then, I'm sorry, what was your second question?
Tattoos, piercings, long hair.
Gotcha. Yes. So we do allow tattoos as long as it's not above the collar, and or considered lewd or offensive to our guests. So we're pretty lax on that. We don't care what color hair you have. Piercings don't matter also. We do have a rule in the concession stand, however, that you're not allowed to wear a necklace, especially while making popcorn, because it's a safety hazard. So, and bracelets for the same reason.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Colton, and thank you, AMC, for being a wonderful community partner. We certainly appreciate it. Everybody go see movies when you can do it safely.
Please, please.
Okay, next up is the end. We're coming to the end of our program, and this doesn't mean that you should hop off. We've got some really, really great things to share with you. At the end of each of our programs, we're going to share some resources for you. And these are all going to be resources to help you move forward in a career search or finding the right career for you. This week, we're going to look at career exploration. And as you can see, week 2, we're going to be reviewing some interviewing tips. Week 3, we're going to talk about vocational rehabilitation. And then week 4, we're going to share with you some college exploration tips. So for career exploration, we've shared a link with you. It's called Career One Stop. And this is pretty amazing, actually. If you go to Career One Stop on this page, this has almost everything about any job that you might be interested in. And maybe you don't know what you're interested in. So you can go to Explore Careers. There's different assessments, career profiles, and salaries. You can find training for these different careers. You can do a job search. A toolkit has just about everything in it. This is where I kind of have gone to because everything up here on that toolbar is all right here. So if you're not sure what you're interested in, you could start with an interest assessment. This interest assessment is only 30 questions. It only takes about 5 minutes. And then after you do that, it's going to give you some ideas of what you might want to look for. Once you finish that, you could look at a career profile. You could choose to put in a location, but you don't have to. So I'm going to search an occupation. Kristen, tell me somebody put in what they'd like me to search for. So tell me what it says in the chat box. So I don't have my chat box up. Somebody give me an idea of a career to search. Anyone have
something that you're interested in? Is anybody interested in a career that we could look up? Graphic designer.
Okay. Uh-oh, I just lost my page. Hold on. All right, so under search by occupation, I could put in graphic designer. If I wanted to work anywhere in the United States, I would just leave this open. If I wanted to be specific to Bloomington or even Indianapolis, I would put in that zip code that I was searching for. So you just go ahead and hit search. I have to move your heads over here so I can see what I'm doing. And then what pops up is all the different jobs that might include a graphic designer. So let's say under that, I want to be a video game designer. So I could look at that and I would pull up that category. This is going to tell me everything I want to know about video game designers. It describes what they do. Each career has a video involved and shows you kind of like what you watched today. Here's some other words that the video game designers are known for. Each page has an outlook on these jobs. So if you want to be a video game designer, the new job opportunities are very likely in the future. So this says this occupation is expected to grow much faster than the average occupation. It also talks about the projected employment here in the United States, gives you some statistics about that, and then typical wages. Then what kind of education do you need? And what happens if you don't have education? What does that look like? So again, here are just a slew of resources for exploring different careers and different ideas of what you may or may not like. It's always important to explore not just the things that you think that you like, the things that you think that you don't like. You have to know what you like and don't like to be able to find a perfect fit and for your job to last longer. Here, you can also set career goals. You can also compare salaries. So maybe you're interested in two different things. You can look at those different salaries. This gives you an idea of what different career goals would look like and how to set them. Now, so that was called Career One Stop. And that's all we have for you today. If anybody has any questions or thoughts, you may put them in the chat box. Otherwise, we hope to see you next week. If you haven't registered,